Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. We have got Ripple news today, and then we've got more Ripple news and even more Ripple news. It is just coming and it's not stopping. First, let's take a look at pricing, and things are headed in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. 62,277 for Bitcoin. Ethereum sitting at 2,443. Solana 144, up over 4%, and XRP at 53 cents, trying to reach that 54-cent mark. Let's jump into some news. First up, we've got Black Swan Capitalists, and they say, people tell me that XRP can't replace the dollar as a reserve currency, but here's the reality behind that outdated thinking. XRP isn't trying to be the reserve currency. It's on its way to becoming the world's reserve digital settlement currency of value. There's a difference. Take a listen to this video and let me know in the comments. Do you guys believe in XRP? We know it's been since 2017 since there's been a pump on the price of XRP. Obviously, they've been in a lawsuit for quite some time against the SEC, which is now going to be appealed, which you'll hear about here shortly. But let me know in the comments. Do you believe in XRP, or do you believe it's just not going to happen and they're up against too much with the government? Let me know in the comments. Listen to this quick video by Black Swan Capitalists.
There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it.
Frankly, our central bank has been slow, and there's an appointment coming in January of 22. The president's got to decide whether to change over who's leading the Federal Reserve.
For those of you who don't know, the next gen $100 note is the last denomination of that particular family of notes. We're working on the future generation of currency. So that is my other job.
I think the train's already left the station in terms of cryptocurrency. You may or may not know that I just joined the board of Ripple, and the reason why I chose to join that board, it's, in my opinion, one of the few cryptocurrency options out there that has a credible and legitimate use. So financial institutions use it to settle cross-border payments.
That is called a bridge crypto or bridge currency. That's in fact what Ripple is trying to do with XRP.
World taxation and one world money. They've worked for years behind the scenes preparing to realize that vision. They've literally rigged the laws of international finance. Everything is basically in place right now, and there's essentially no way to stop this from happening.
There are some cryptos that are working with regulators and are working with banks.
I agree.
Ripple
right.
would be an example.
Ripple would be an example, right.
Now this is and I can imagine in the next 5 years, instead of us doing sterling against the dollar or sterling against yen and doing these kinds of transactions, we'll do sterling versus Ripple.
Now, there is a fundamental issue with, say, Bitcoin in its current form, in that the transaction volume is very limited, and the latency, the latency for a properly confirmed transaction is too long, much longer than you'd like.
So great stuff there from Black Swan Capitalists. I mean, you don't see any of this stuff on the mainstream news. That's the thing. They don't talk about XRP like they do Bitcoin and even Ethereum on mainstream news. So I think that tells us something right there. Moving on to Lori reports, and I mentioned about the SEC Ripple case. Well, she says here, cross appeal is happening. Now go put your bags away and eat something else other than popcorn while the theater entertains the folks that don't understand XRP. So let's take a listen to Lori reports here about the cross appeal happening from Ripple.
Ripple's not going down easy. They're going to fight hard. They are planning their cross appeal. It is confirmed that today, Thursday, October 10th, Ripple Labs will absolutely be filing a cross appeal against the SEC, something we all need to pay attention to. Algerati says, I don't think that folks who are paying attention should be much distracted, keyword, distracted, by these efforts to create confusion, because I think the judge got it right, and I think they should welcome the opportunity for the Court of Appeals to roll on this issue and finally bring the clarity that we need. Ripple's cross appeal is intended to ensure that the company preserves its points and arguments in the case, and they have every right to do so because this is absolutely absurd. Alderati says we're really doing that to make sure that we leave nothing on the table, including the argument that there cannot be an investment contract without there being the essential rights and obligations found in a contract. Now, just like the SEC's appeal last week, Ripple's initial filing is just a notice that it will submit a more comprehensive argument in the near future. The two parties would have to fill out a form in the coming weeks laying out a fairly high-level description of their arguments. But neither the regulator nor the company would get into specifics until their opening briefs are filed. He added that the U.S. really needs a policy solution from legislators rather than court rulings. Clearly, they are going to fight and collect victories to bring clarity to the industry through litigation and the process. You guys, nothing is going to take away the fact that XRP is not a security. Everybody knows it. This is just theater. We all stick our XRP bags away, out of sight, out of mind, and move on with life. And let's think about some other things right now that might be slightly more important.
They were in the right, and the SEC continues to bring lawsuits against other companies, and quite frankly, fall flat on their face in most of those court cases. So I believe the same will happen here with Ripple. Smoke Dog comes in here and says yes, the 3 Japanese mega banks involved in Project PAX, MUFG, SMBC, and Mizuho are all using Ripple. It's documented here. 3 of Japan's largest banks. That'll be 3 of the first to implement this into real-time use. The project will use Swift's API framework for compliance and efficiency, with a goal of commercializing the platform by 2025. Set to begin with prototype Project PAX, aims to have a fully operational platform by 2025. Goes on to say in the other piece of the article here, all 3 of Japan's largest banks have now joined the Japan Bank Consortium using Ripple. Using Ripple, including the banks previously mentioned. So the documentation for Ripple just keeps piling up. Again, not spoken about on the mainstream news, but we talked about the SEC going after other companies and suing them. Here's another one. They're suing Cumberland Company, a DFW company. And this company is essentially operates a leading liquidity provider and market maker in the cryptocurrency space. They focus on things like facilitating transactions in major cryptos like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like XRP. They provide both buying and selling services. They also offer clients secure trading experience with a focus on being private and quick settlement. So here the SEC goes again. Cumberland fires back, says today we became the latest target of the SEC's enforcement first approach to stifling innovation and preventing legitimate companies from engaging in digital assets. We talked about earlier about these companies being allowed to do this stuff, and the SEC is suing them because there aren't clear rules. But these people Cumberland went in and tried to file the correct paperwork, and they got nowhere. They say here at the end here, we have proven before our firm's willingness to defend ourselves against overzealous regulators wielding their power in ways that harm rather than benefit the market. We did it when Chairman Gensler was chair of the CFTC, with the court finding its case against DRW based on little more than an earth is fiat style conviction. This time the SEC's approach seems to be a game of catch-22, where the ability to come in and register is just a mirage. We're ready to defend ourselves again. So kudos to Cumberland. defending themselves, much like Ripple has. And listen, hopefully Cumberland will come out on top too, and hopefully they don't have to spend as much money that Ripple has spent. I imagine that Ripple case will get settled in the meantime, and Cumberland will probably have an easier time dealing with it. Smoke Dog here says, interpreting institutional documents 101, institutional avalanche imminent. Trillions flooding the market are on the horizon. Digital assets are the first genuinely new asset class in the last 150 years. This represents a multi-generational opportunity. And here he posts an article, the era of institutional adoption is upon us. It says digital assets are the first genuinely new asset class in 150 years. We expect 2024 to shift up gears in institutional adoption of digital assets, and here's why. And he highlights below, besides the above, we identified other key indicators reinforcing the odds of an institutional avalanche being imminent. So he gives the reasons why there. Before that, I'm not going to read all of them, but institutions are coming. They're coming. And as soon as we get either clear regulation or a change in the head of the SEC, maybe both, we're going to see institutions come soaring into this new cryptocurrency, and it's going to be big. Brad Garlinghouse here says, when you're a big bank or a nimble fintech, to offer crypto services to your customers, you need top-tier custody technology, and for that, Ripple Custody delivers. He was reposting Monica Long here. Ripple Custody is the de facto tech used by the biggest banks in the world, including DBS, SocGen, Forge, BBVA. Now we're adding pre-configured operational and policy frameworks, additional HSM options, XRPL fungible token support, and compliance services. So again, Ripple keeps building. They know the clarity is coming. They're not going to stop doing what they do. Again, they've hired more people outside of the U.S. because of the holdup in regulations in the United States, but they're not stopping. They're going to continue building. And when there's clear regulation here in the States, Ripple's going to be ready now, offering custody for banks, and the banks are going to use them. I mean, it's just a matter of time from what I'm seeing. And then finally, Smoke Dog here says, why is Ripple launching crypto custody for banks now? Custody for crypto assets is currently one of the most sought after services that Wall Street is eager to offer, as shown in this chart. Here's the chart. Crypto services, what are they? Trading in custody, private funds, ETFs. You've heard about the ETFs on BlackRock, Ethereum. Now there's filings for XRP. Some of these banks do all three, but almost all of them, except for one, do trading in custody or are interested in trading in custody, except for Morgan Stanley. And I'm sure they'll be aboard shortly as well. Goes on here to say crypto asset adoption is moving from the fringes of finance to the largest and most venerable trade centers in the world. Banks cannot afford to miss this moment. There's a lot of other stuff in that article regarding the OCC, which you can stop and read here, but it's coming. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're in the crypto space, be patient. As always, do your own research, of course. But there's opportunity here. Absolutely huge opportunity in my mind. But you got to be patient, and we got to hope for the regulation to get here. That could take some time. That could be the biggest holdup, but we shall see. Thank you for jumping in. We'll see you on the flip side.